Hey y'all, what's happening? We back with another interview. We decided to switch it up this time. So this man he's a writer, he's a producer, he's an actor, he's a coach, he's a man of many things. Really good dude. Honestly, one of my mentors always gives me advice, and whenever I need something, he's there for me. So without further ado, I give you the one and only Mr. Dwayne Boyd.
Good, man. What's up, man? Thanks for having me, D. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you coming on, sir. No lie. So
Yeah, but you got
first
that St. Louis photo. You from St. You ain't from St. Louis, right?
Oh, no, I know you're from Missouri, so for the episode, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, decided to break it out for the one time. But the first thing I like to do anytime somebody comes on, because you never know who may tune into this, who might may make or may not come from similar circumstances as you for whatever. So I like for you to talk about your upbringing, what it was like for you growing up.
Well, man, I'm from the Midwest, and it was just different, from down here. Like I tell people all the time in Atlanta, man, y'all grew up in a beautiful space. You know what I'm saying? Just being here in Georgia, with so much more opportunity down here. So when I came down here, man, it just made me really appreciate what you guys had to offer because we didn't have a whole lot of things growing up, man. I grew up in the inner city of Kansas City, right off of 34th of Askew and my mom's house, and then 28th and Benton was my dad's house. So I was back and forth. And main thing was just staying out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? Not really getting into anything that would get you in any type of long-term trouble. So you want to make sure that you found some things that, kept you busy. And for me, it wasn't acting, but it was always the arts some way. We had like a little new edition group back then. We called ourselves Future Edition. So we were performing talent shows.
Yes. Okay.
We were performing talent shows and stuff. So I've always been drawn to the arts. I just didn't know what I was going to do in it. But that's the kind of things that kept me out of trouble. I wasn't out there doing a whole lot of other stuff because I was busy trying to be an artist some way. So yeah,
Okay.
it's home, man. I love it. Great food, great people, but not the opportunity like I got down here, man. Y'all really can make things happen down here in Atlanta. So that's what drew me to Atlanta.
Okay. So was your only child? Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I had two sisters and a brother. So
Okay. Where do you fall in the ranking?
I'm the oldest brother, so yeah. And I just found a long lost sister that I didn't know I had. She lives out here in Jonesboro. That's crazy, yeah. So that was on my biological father's side. So it was great to meet her this past year. And I got a brother. I didn't know about a brother, but I met my long lost sister down here that I never got a chance to meet, and I met her and her family. So it was amazing.
Okay. So you said the name of your group was Future Edition?
Yeah, man. We had a little singer. We wouldn't sing with lip syncing.
Snap. Okay. How many of y'all were in the group?
Five of us. Yep. It was me, Eric, Andre, Billy, and Cortez. But we had another guy named Billy, but he went to another school, so we ended up having to put Cortez in the group in his place. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So that's your upbringing and whatnot. So what did you do after you graduated high school?
Went to the military, man. I knew I didn't want to go back to school. I was schooled out. I didn't want anything to do with school right now, but I wanted to be able to pay for college if I decided to go, which I did later. So I joined the military, and that's when I realized that I didn't want to be in the military. I did my in the army, you know what I'm saying? I did 7 years in the infantry. I was an infantry sergeant, and I got out of that and I started ran a barber shop for a while. A lot of people know me as a barber here in Atlanta. That's what, like I said, I was married at the time, so I got out of the military and I stayed here in Georgia. My ex-wife, she was from Columbus, so she had family that was up here. Her uncle and aunt stayed here, so I stayed with them while I was trying to get myself together and figure out what I wanted to do. And that's when it led me to running a barbershop for a while. I did that for about 5, 6 years, and then I went straight into acting.
Okay. Okay. And you say you were in the army. What made you choose the army? Because I know most people, say I'm gonna just go into service and they just choose the Navy, but the army, I feel like that's another, tier and a level there.
You got trips. Now, the recruiters came and they just made it sound real good. They was pursuing me hard too, man. They was taking us out to dinner all the time and lunch and stuff and pizza parties. And they was like, "Hey, you should go to the military. You can go to Germany. You can explore the world and blah blah blah." And I was like, "All right, that sounds good." And they gave me a bonus, signing bonus for going in. And yeah, but and I was like, "What have I got myself into?" It was one of those things where I felt like, you got to love that kind of stuff. If you don't love the military, it's not going to be a long-term thing for you. I knew guy got right after 2 years or 4 years. I ended up doing 7 years. I did re-enlist, but I think it was time for me to get out at a certain point.
Okay. So what so like how was boot camp like for you? And what were some of the things you learned while in the army?
Boot camp was really, really tough, man. I think that that's the thing that, I say like made me a man in a sense because you really had to dig deep and get through that. It was a hard basic training and an AIT. So we had what I think 13 weeks total, just
Ooh, okay.
training. You know what I'm saying? It was 8 weeks of basic, and then we did the rest in AIT, like 4 or 5 weeks of AIT, and it was just tough, man. It was one of the toughest things I've ever done, and I was 18 at the time, so I had never had a challenge like that nonstop. So just to finish was an accomplishment. But I learned just intestinal fortitude, just how to, motivate myself when I feel like giving up. It's cold, wet, rainy outside. You still got to move forward. And, I learned the strength of creating bonds with my fellow soldiers that I was in the basic training with me. We had an unbreakable bond at the time, and I think it's a lot of them. If I run some guys to this day, we still would be connected because that was just a trying time for some young men at the time. So we had to really, rely on each other and figure it out, and just having that drive and that discipline. A lot of it was discipline, not wanting to quit. It's one thing I told myself I wasn't going to quit no matter what happened. So I'm kind of
Good.
doing just it's things I carry now, and even when I run my businesses, I use a lot of things that I learned from the military.
Okay. And what were some of the places you traveled to and that you actually enjoyed?
I lived in Germany twice. I was in Nuremberg and Schweinfurt. I actually got to go to Romania one time. That was interesting. We was over. I was part of NATO at the time. Had a peacekeeping mission, and we had to go to NATO. It was a peacekeeping exercise we did with a bunch of different countries. So I got to go to Romania, and I got to go to Count Dracula's actual castle. I know it's crazy, right? I didn't think it was real. Got over there, and I said, "This is a very real thing." And that's when I started doing more research about that. But we actually went to his castle, and that was pretty dope. But I primarily outside of Germany, I was stateside. I was in Fort Benning twice as well. I did basic in Fort Benning. I came back and was stationed at Fort Benning. So that's how I found the beautiful state of Georgia and decided that when I get out of the military, that's where I want to live.
Okay. All right, cool. And you said you did 7 years in the Army, correct? Okay. So and then you also mentioned that once you got out, you were a barber. So talk to me about how you got in, what made you choose barbering, yeah, why barbering? Because I feel like that's a unique niche.
Barber in high school, man. I was doing cutting friends here on the porch, and then I ended up getting like a little part-time job at this beauty salon. They would let me come in there and cut after school some days. I would go in a barber shop or the beauty salon, and I would cut. It was called Clyde's Touch of Class, and I would go in there and cut hair from like 4 to 7, or whenever they closed. And I had like one or two clients. You know what I'm saying? I was learning. The guy that owned the shop was teaching me. He was like he was like let me be his apprentice. So I would go there for a while, and then I would go across the street because I worked at Church's Chicken at the time. I would go across the street to Church's Chicken and finish up a shift over there, and so I would go from cutting hair for a couple hours, and I would go slaying some chicken for the rest of the night.
Okay. And how long were you a barber?
When I got out the military, I even cut in the military. I would cut on the weekends and in the barracks and stuff like that. But when I got out the military, it took me about a month, and I found a barbershop. It was called First Class. It was a barbershop right on Wesley Chapel, and I started cutting here and there for a few months, and then they moved me to my own shop where I was like the manager there. And I didn't have a license yet, but I was an apprentice under another guy named Cecil, and I was able to cut hair and get my license at the same time. So I ran that shop for about like 4 or 5 years, and then decided I wanted to try something else.
Okay. Okay. And did you make any connections or whatnot while you were at the barbershop? Because I know that's a great place to network, just because you never know, no matter who you are, you gonna need a haircut, and the haircut make you feel better. So what were some of the relationships and the vibes like?
To this day, I got friends in this shop. Two of the people that was coming at the time, they had just did their first independent film called Chocolate City, and they were working on something new. It was Will Packer and Rob Hardy. Right.
Full pack, okay.
Big time, man. So yeah, those guys would come to the barber shop, and I ended up becoming like Will's personal barber for a while. So
Okay.
he's up now is amazing. But yeah, I remember them cats when they was just starting out, just trying to figure it out, man. And I got to witness that. So I worked with them on multiple projects. But yeah, really proud of what they were able to do. But I met them at First Class Barbershop.
Okay. And so I'm assuming, through there is kind of how you got your jump start into acting.
Rob Will gave me my first big movie role. It was a movie role called The Gospel with
Okay.
Elba and Boris Kojo, and that was my first major film. So I was able to do that project, and it just led to a bunch of other opportunities.
Okay. So when he gave you that, were you like already taking acting classes and whatnot, or was it just, hey, I really want to do this acting thing. Hey, I'm gonna put you in this movie. What was, that process like becoming an actor
I was taking
with
his
it?
license, and then let me rephrase. They didn't give me anything. I still had to go and audition and get the offer, of course.
Right.
They gave me a shot based off me being prepared. You know what I'm saying? I tell people all the time, to be serious about this, take classes. At the time I took some classes, But then I started my own class with some friends. We kind of just started working with each other, and that kind of became the formation of my class I've been running for the past 24 years now.
It's a long time. So people that's get young actors wanting to pursue this, what are the first few things you feel as if they should do to be successful, going along with taking classes?
Classes, and of course, being around certain people that are going to motivate you, people going to push you and challenge you, other actors. You got to find your tribe. Start going to networking events, and you got to network your butt off. You got to meet people. You got to find out who's doing what film, and start developing relationships with agencies and casting directors. Go do student films. Go do independent films. Just be around film. If you want to learn how to do this, you got to be on set. There's no, you can read books all day long, and that's great. I encourage reading and studying, but you got to put your feet in the fire. And until you do that, you're not going to know what it's like. Even if you like it, I tell people all the time, before you do anything, go be extra on set one day. Just see if you even like that. Because the extras are normally 12, 15 hours, long days, and that's going to let you know that if you can even hang with that. So I think starting out, of course, take classes, but be around filmmakers, be around film people, be around films, be around actors, be around the business. And there's a lot of that here now. SCAD has a lot of great student films. You can apply for that, start setting your online profiles up, get your headshots, and get it done.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Notice, because a lot of times when we talk, you always say, don't wait for somebody to give you an opportunity, make the opportunity and take it for yourself. Yeah, you always say that. So I was want to say I appreciate you always telling me that. Really making me want to always continue and look for the next opportunity. So, who are some of the mentors that you met along with Will Packer during your rise and your growth during the journey?
I had an incredible mentor for 2 years, Robert Townsend. I worked up under him, Five Heartbeats and Hollywood Shows, everything, Parenthood. That was my guy, man. He really, really taught me a lot about this business. He made me understand that the business part of this. He was the kind of person that didn't wait for opportunity. He went out and created his own project, and he told me to do the same thing. He said, "What you waiting on? Hollywood don't need you. You got to prove to them they need you. And how you do that is create your own opportunities and create projects that make money." So I was able to shoot my first feature film, and we got into ABFF, which is the American Black Film Festival, which is the biggest black film festival in the world. And we were a part of that. We were nominated out of 600 films in the top four. We didn't win, but just being in that mix was amazing. And Robert Townsend was one of the board members, so that was great to for him to say, "Hey, you can do it," and then do it and be in his festival, a festival he's a part of, along with Jeff Friday. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you kind of already mentioned it, but talk to me about how you got into being an acting coach and whatnot. Were you because you were already acting when you started coaching, right? All right, so talk to me about how that came about.
I never set out to do it. It just kind of fell in my lap, man. I was never saying I want to be a coach. I saw a need at the time here in Atlanta, and a lot of people were just getting into the business. So we wanted to make sure that we were prepared, we were organized, and doing what we needed to do as far as being trained properly. And me and a buddy of mine, Eric Eddings, we used to go to his house on Friday nights, and a bunch of actors would get together, and this just kind of started to take shape, and it kind of became where it's at now. But I've helped a lot of people. I've been hired by multiple studios. So like I worked for Netflix, and for Raising Dion for 2 seasons, I was a set coach for that. So yeah, it's just a lot of opportunities, man. And I've seen a lot of people that came from my class get a lot of great opportunities. A lot of them are working actors now. A lot of them on series and shows. Patrick Walker, he's on the show Doc. He started out right in our class at 18 years old. Now he's a regular on a hit Fox show. So yeah.
All right, that's good. It's good. Talk about growth. So talk to me about your coaching, the way you coach, and how you've grown in coaching, like from where you started to now, like something you might have learned about yourself.
I think too, man. Like I said, I apply a lot of things I learned from the military, the discipline aspect, the structure of it. I run my classes very structured, so a lot of times I try to map everything, have everything planned, but at the same time, I leave room for spontaneity, for that opportunity for things to just kind of naturally happen. And I think part of this business is learning more about yourself. I think acting is an inner exploration of self, and I
Mm.
think a lot of times it's about coming out creating all these great characters. But I think the most important thing is learning who you are and what you bring to the business. We love Denzel Washington because Denzel's great at being Denzel, isn't he?
Yes, absolutely.
We find our own greatness and bring that out. Again, we love Denzel. Denzel's amazing, but Denzel understands how to be himself the best. And I think that once he once he achieved greatness, we all said, "Oh, that's the benchmark." I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of his, Fishburne, all those guys. To me, that's the guys I came up watching. But what does Dwayne Boyd have to offer? What does Dwayne Boyd say as an artist? And I had to learn that I got to bring me to the table as much as I possibly can, prepared, but also be open for interpretation, things to change, or open for just different ideas from directors when I work with them. So.
Okay, yes, sir, yes, sir. So, you were also in the movie The Hunger Games. So, for people, he was in The Hunger Games, the first one, right? Yep. So, talk to me about how the opportunity came about.
Oh man, that was because of Jackie Burch. She was a cast director that I knew. Rest her soul, she passed away last year. It's amazing. And Jackie had cast some of the biggest hits in movie history. I'm talking Coming to America. She cast Weird Science film, some of my favorite films, DC Cap, all that stuff. So to be able to work and know Jackie was work with her and know her was great. And she ended up bringing me in for an audition for this. And I did the audition and they wanted to do a callback. And the callback was down in Asheville, North Carolina, which is like 4 or 5 hours away. And at the time, I was directing a high school play. I was directing The Wiz over at
Okay.
was it Champion Drama School. They were doing The Wiz, and I was directing that year. And
Okay.
callback was the same day we did our first show, Saturday around like 2 or 3 o'clock. And I had a show around that time. So I told my agent at the time, Alexander White, I said, man, I can't go. I got this play I got to do. He said, no, you're going to the callback. I said, I can't go. I didn't know what Hunger Games was. I was like, Hunger Games, what is this? Independent film? What is this? And they says, no, you need to go. You need to go. I said, all right, man. So I had to have my one of my friends, she stepped in and directed the play so I could drive down to North Carolina, do the callback, come back here in time for the 7 o'clock show, the Wiz. You know what I'm saying? Missed the
Yeah.
matinee show, but I came back for the 7 o'clock. But when I got down there, the producer and director was in the room. I auditioned for one role. They looked at me and said, "Hey, let's have this guy read for this part." I went back out in the hallway, did my preparation, came back in about 5 minutes later and did the audition. And they said, "Welcome to the Hunger Games," and that's how I got in the Hunger Games. You know.
Yes, sir. So, talk to me about what being on that set was like, and because, like you said, you was like, "Man, I ain't never heard of this," and then what it ended up blowing up and turning into.
Well, that thing was I realized it was huge when I got to set. I played one of the peacekeepers in the movie. I think at the time the only peacekeeper that spoke in that film. I got a couple scenes in that movie, but I played the only peacekeeper. And I got to set and I saw these kids walking around with a book. I said, "It's a book," and all the kids had them. It was just like, and that's when I said, "Okay, this is pretty big." And they had paparazzi on set trying to steal pictures. I'm sitting there with Jennifer Lawrence and Liam Hemsworth and Josh. It was just amazing to see all these people. I didn't see Woody Harrelson or Lenny Kravitz, which would have been cool because I was around a lot of the younger cast. So, but it was just great to see that, man. And it was. I realized it was a big thing. The Hunger Games was huge. The first one, I thought it was phenomenal just being a part of that project.
Yes, sir. And also, not too far, along that time, you were in the Usher music video for Climax, the main guy.
I was the husband of the girl Usher was cheating with. So
Yeah. So, talk to me about that opportunity because normally it's film, but now it's a music video. So, talk to me about that.
they wanted it to be more like a cinematic experience. They wanted it to be more like the a film shot. And if you look at the video, the way they shot it, that was Sam Pilling. The director was from the UK. He wanted it to have that film feel, and we had shot the stuff that we wanted to shoot, but I think Usher kind of had a different idea about it. So a lot of it changed. We had this big scene that we didn't shoot, this big fight scene, all the stuff that we didn't get to shoot. So that'd have been great to be able to do. But it's Usher's video. He's a superstar. So when he said, "Hey, this is how I wanted to go," it's gonna go. So but it was a great experience. And my sister was a big Usher fan at the time. So I brought her to set to meet Usher. She got to meet Usher. And it was just a great experience, man. I got to work 2 days on that shoot, and Kelly Casting was the one that cast me for that. So that was a great opportunity.
So, talk to me about like the evolution of, I guess, like how you would be an actor or how you would go about it because social media is now like a big, big player in it. Now you don't need a studio anymore. You can just hop on social media and make your own stuff. So talk to me about how you've seen that evolution over time.
Different, man. And we got to embrace that. Of course, I'm from the old school. We still auditioned and stood in line with the headshots, but it's just different now, man. You have an audience waiting on your phone. I mean, if you can do anything, go out here and create your own opportunities, create your own web series, create your own TikTok series, whatever. I think we've seen how to kind of what Country Wayne has been able to do. I was working on his projects for I think I worked with him about a year, did like 115, 120 skits. And just watching his whole experience and his whole process, I was amazed with. He didn't wait for anybody. He became the studio. So he created his own lane, and I can respect that. So I think that's where we are now. You better pick that phone up and do something. If you really want to have a career in anything, start creating your own.
Yes, sir. And you were also on or worked on Uncle Drew.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff um, that I've been able to do, just relationships, great cast rings, but also auditioning and making sure that I was prepared. Uncle Drew was a great experience. I'm working with some NBA legends on there. I'm in a table read with Shaq and Kyrie and Reggie Miller, all these people I grew up on TV watching. So that was huge, man. I'm a big 90s NBA basketball fan. So to work with those guys, those are my legends. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all got y'all generation now. We talk about this all the time, but
Yeah.
I'm from that Jordan era. That 90s basketball was just so different, man. There's nothing like it.
Okay. So then, who are your top five favorite players from that time period? Then,
Top five, of course, Jordan.
of
Got to
course.
go. That's my goal. You know what I'm saying? Jordan. I'm a big Jordan fan. Of course, Kobe, Shaq. There's so many, man. It was like not. It's hard to make a top five with that. Um, I would say I gotta put Pippen in there. Pippen was a great number two guy, man. He was that dude. And then maybe last I'll probably say I'm gonna go with Tim Duncan, man. He don't get enough credit. Tim Duncan was a monster. Yeah,
Yeah.
so many, man. It's so many. Like I said, it's hard for me to do. I'm just throwing some names out. Those are the names I would look at.
Okay. And just real quick, we in the NBA playoffs right now. Is there a team you liking right now?
Listen,
Or
he got hurt, man. So I don't know I don't know who I'm gonna pull for, man. I was going, I'm an Ant fan. See, Ant has that old school vibe basketball. He reminds you of that energy. So I just don't know, man. Of course, everybody's saying OKC, of course, because they rolling. So yeah.
yeah, yeah, they're the hottest thing going. But so you've done movies, you've done a music video, and also been on television. So talk to me about what is like the difference between doing a film versus television.
It's just different genres, different mediums. Film is a lot slower. Television is a lot quicker. Like when I do a sitcom, it's line, line, joke is a lot quicker. Like I've worked on a few sitcoms and I noticed this pacing is different. But with film, you get to take your time. It's 90 minutes or hour and a half, however long, hour 20 minutes, whatever, however long to do your film. 120 minutes, I'm sorry, to do your film. So you have a lot more time. There's pacing. That's something I do notice. It just depends on the genre as well. Comedy is different from a thriller. I always tell actors before you audition for something, go look at the tone of the show, see what the pacing is like. Like Walking Dead is totally different from a Tyler Perry project or where, right? So everybody has a different style. And you have to understand that every genre is different and understand how, the tone of the show, the flow.
Okay. So like you said, you've been on Meet the Browns, and you've also been on MacGyver.
Mhm.
So is there a TV show that you've been on where you've had the most fun?
Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know. I got to work on a show called Under the Dome, and I'm a big Breaking Bad fan, so I got to work with Dean Norris, who's Hank on Breaking Bad. So that was cool. But I
Okay.
didn't expect to be as fun. He's a really nice guy too. We had lunch together today and everything, man. And we were talking about the show, so that was probably one of the coolest experiences on the TV set, man. I've been on quite a few of them, but yeah, that one kind of reminded me of how cool this job can be, and you get to work with people that you admire their work.
Okay. So who are have you ever been on set anywhere and you were like kind of starstruck, like, whoa, like that person is like, okay, I gotta gather myself.
Yeah, a few times I got to meet Al Pacino. I worked in a movie with Al Pacino. He's the Godfather, Scarface, and I had just watched Godfather. That's one of my favorite films, is Godfather. So to be with him and watching him on set, man, it was amazing. I did a movie with him called Hangman, and it was me, him, and Carl Urban. Everybody knows Carl Urban from The Boys. He's Butcher in The Boys. So I got to work on a scene with them two together, and just watching Al Pacino, man, you're standing right next to the guy you grew up on TV. Like he's some of my favorite films, he's in. So yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So now I've asked you that, so I know that you're into superheroes.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite superhero?
You gotta ask. It's the dark.
Yeah, the one and only. Okay, so what is it about Batman that made you like this is my guy?
I think growing up, man, he was always just a cool superhero. He was dark and mysterious, and I'm drawn. I'm a Superman fan too, and Spider-Man, and everything else. But for some reason, the whole backstory with him being an orphan and just It was just cool, man. He always had the cool gadgets, the cars, billionaire, the girls all around him. So who wouldn't be drawn to like I want to be like Batman? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes, sir. So, out of all the Batman films, who do you think was the best Bruce Wayne? Or do you have a favorite Bruce Wayne?
I think I think the coolest Bruce Wayne would have probably been I don't know, man. I like the grounded one with Christian Bale did. So I think Clooney was a good Bruce Wayne. They hated his Batman, but he was a good Bruce Wayne. So I think he had the most personality and most spark that showed like I could be Bruce Wayne. But Christian Bale across the board, man. This guy just he did a lot for me, man. With that, I was like, oh wow, that was like it was like they really brought Batman into the real world with him. So I thought that was dope.
Yeah, okay. And I who is your favorite Batman villain? Is it the Joker to you, or is it somebody else? Somebody might say Penguin. Somebody might say uh the one that Harvey Dent played. Uh,
Two-Face.
yes. So
Everybody got to say Joker. I mean, Heath Ledger did something we never seen with that role. So for him to take the Joker in there, because we were all pissed off when it came out that he's gonna play the Joker. It was like nobody's gonna beat Jack Nicholson. Now don't nobody really talk about Jack Nicholson.
yeah, you're right.
Jack
Yeah.
Nicholson was the Joker. He was perfect at the Joker until this guy came with this whole different take, and it was just a darker take, man. And not to compare the two, because everybody has their interpretation as an actor, but Jack Nicholson was the standard for Joker, and this guy just came out and just reinvented that character, and it just shows you how interpretation go, man. We didn't know what he's going to do, and now he's the standard.
Yes, sir. And
He Billy.
yeah, facts. People dress up as him for Halloween nowadays. That
So I went to a Halloween party. I went to Ronnie DeVoe from New Edition's Halloween party, and he was dressed up like a Joker, and I was dressed up like Batman that year.
oh wow, look at that.
Right. Took a moment for me, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Started out on a like your own singing group based off New Edition. Now you dressed up basically.
Joker, right? Nick Crazy. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, what are your top five superhero films?
Of course, Dark Knight, the one with Joker, that's number one of all time. Then I have to go with Endgame. Endgame. I thought they did a great job with the
Okay,
last. They all came out at the end, the big fight. I almost teared up when I saw that.
okay,
So, Black Panther. Um, I like this new Spider-Man they got. I'm trying to figure out which Spider-Man movie. Maybe the first one they introduced him. I like this kid as Spider-Man now. Tom Holland. I think he's a great Spider-Man. Then I would have to say my fifth probably. I would have to go with I like Iron Man. I like Iron Man. Probably the first one. I think
yeah,
yeah, that was a no-brainer casting Robert Downey as Iron Man. It's hard to believe that Marvel didn't want him because of his history, and I can't imagine nobody like that man single-handedly uh, revitalized Marvel. But we got to give Wesley his credit. Honorable mention to Wesley Snipes. He's really the one who kickstarted the MCU. They won't give him credit for that, but he showed them that a superhero film could make $100 million in a weekend, and he was able to pull that off.
yeah. Him and Blade, right? Yes, sir. Yes.
Let me take Spidey out and put Blade in there. I'm gonna put Blade in there.
Okay. So, you said you like Tom Holland as your Spider Man, even over Tobey Maguire.
Great. So I just think that this kid just got, and to me, he has it all. He seems like that boyish wonder that Spider-Man is supposed to have. I remember reading the comic books. Like my favorite comic growing up was Power Man and Iron Fist, Luke Cage. I was a big fan of that series. And I'm not on board as much as I need to be with this look he has. I feel like he needs to go back to the gritty Harlem dude. I want to see more of that. So, but yeah, man, I feel like Tom Holland was probably to me the most complete Spider-Man out of all three of them.
Okay, cool. And no wrong with that. Just like you said, matter of preference, right? Yeah. So, now that we've got your favorite superhero movies, what is your favorite top five TV shows that you watch?
Of course, I said Breaking Bad was one. Curb Your Enthusiasm, I like that. I'm a big fan of Martin, but I hadn't watched Martin in a while. Let me think. I'm watching this show called Friends and Neighbors right now by John Hamm. That's really good. Hey man, you hit me with the TV shows. It's this show that I like called Extras. A lot of people don't know about it. It's a UK show. It's about Ricky Gervais plays this guy who's an extra on set, and it's probably one of the top shows I've ever seen. I watch it from time to time. I can go back and look at it all over again. That's how great it
Okay,
is.
what network is it on?
It was on HBO.
HBO? Okay, cool. May have to tune into that. It sounds unique. Playing an extra on set
Yes.
that
All he wanted was a line, and he ended up getting so much more. So that was great to watch. And I think every artist, every actor probably should watch that.
okay. So what's a do you have any films where you're like you felt as if the hero of the movie was overrated?
I think about that a little more. I think, you know, there's so many, and that's a writing character development thing, or even a performance, maybe. I think sometimes when you're writing these characters, we can make them a little too clean cut. That's when they become boring, you know. And I think that part of it is that you want to see the character have some edge, the characters not be so lily white. It says more so you want to see them have flaws. You know, that's what made Breaking Bad such an impactful show for me because here's a guy we shouldn't be rooting for at all. He's really a bad guy. He became a bad guy. You said you got to see that transformation, and you're pulling for him the whole time, and you realize, man, wait a minute. Some way halfway through the series, I start rooting for the bad guy. You know, so they did that effortlessly. I think that was a well-written character arc that made you turn to the dark side with this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I saw it on Netflix, and then I watched maybe the first season. I was like, next thing I know, I'm binge watching the whole thing. I'm like, whoa!
You
Like you
know,
said, he was by the end of it, he was evil. He was the man that came and knocked on the door and came and got you. So,
mhm.
so we just gonna do a few more quick hitters, and then we're gonna get up out of here, okay? But one of the final questions is: anybody that's watching this, that's pursuing their dreams and what they want to do in life, and they feel like quitting and giving up, what advice would you or words of encouragement would you give them?
Let me tell you what I was told. Don't quit until you get 300 no's. You get 300 no's, you'll before you even reach 300 no's, you'll start getting some yeses. You just gotta keep pushing, keep striving. You know, as long as you're above ground, you know, why stop? What else you gonna do? We got to make it work somehow, some way, right? You're here for a purpose, for a reason. Figure out what you want to, and I think that's what makes life interesting when you have goals and set goals, you achieve them. Of course, you're not going to stop after that. You're going to say, okay, what else can I do here? You know, it's like a friend of mine, they ran a 5K this weekend. You know, she set a goal, she did it, she achieved it, great. She came in, she placed really higher than she thought. What was the goal? She said, now what's the next goal? I asked her, so what's next? And that's what you always got to say, okay, when I achieve a goal, what's next? What's the next thing and the next thing and the next thing? So I think a lot of it is just depending upon understanding that we all have a purpose for being here and going after it no matter what it is, you know. And goals are going to change. The things that you pursue in life are going to change. You may do something for 5 or 10 years and say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. What's the next thing? I think as long as you're here, man, you got to be pursuing something. So why not make it enjoyable?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I like that. All right, so we're gonna do the quick hitters, and then we're gonna get up out of here. So, what is your favorite color?
Black,
Black. Okay. What? What?
black. I think black is cool. Black never goes out of style. Anything all black always looks cool.
That is very true. That is very true. What is your favorite food?
Favorite food is probably a steak. I'm a steak guy. Love a good
Okay. You got a favorite cut?
ribeye.
Ribeye, bone in or boneless?
Mm.
Bone in. How you eat it?
Well done.
Well done. Well done.
Well done. Medium well. Sometimes medium well. Depends on what mood I'm in. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. What's the food that you can't stand? Like I can't like you can't see why people eat this or can't stomach this.
A few things.
A few things.
One thing I don't see how people eat. Like I'm not a big fan of like oysters and all that stuff, man. Like I don't know what that is. You know what I'm saying? It's the body of the the bodies what we eating and they clean the ocean out. I'm like, and I
Yeah.
used to put crab legs out until I start realizing what they were and what they did. I said, I don't know if I want to eat that no more. So and I don't eat pork, so I hadn't eaten pork since 1992. And
Okay.
it's kind of hard for me to digest. I had the idea of eating digesting pork anymore. So yeah, shrimp.
Okay.
When I realized what shrimp and all that stuff was, man, I was done. I was done. I mean, half things we eating here probably shouldn't be eating, but I don't know, man. It's just, yeah. I mean, if you saw a shrimp run across the floor right now, you wouldn't pick it up and butter it and dip it.
Nah, probably not. Honestly.
Right. Got little legs on and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. What is your favorite time of day? Are you a morning person or a night person?
Night. I like night.
Night. And what is it about the nighttime you like?
Quiet. You feel like the world is asleep. You know what I'm saying? So I tend to get a lot more done at night. I like to be out. I'm a nightlife guy, so I like to be out at lounges and stuff like that for drinks and stuff like that. I like being out at night. I'm not out too late now. I'm at that point now where I need to be home by midnight. I'm not out too late,
Yeah.
but yeah, I like the night. I'll get up in the morning and get stuff done as well, but I like the night.
Okay. Yes, sir. DC or Marvel?
Marvel got the best characters, I think, but I'm gonna go with Marvel, X-Men, all that stuff. And Marvel just got a full array. Like DC's very limited. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like after
Hmm.
Batman, Trinity, maybe Justice League. After that, it's not a whole lot. But Marvel, you got Avengers, you got X-Men, you got so much over there. So if I had to pick a crew, it's gonna be Marvel.
Okay. What's your favorite sports team?
Oh man, come on, you gotta ask. Go Chiefs. Come on, man. Mahomes.
Yes,
KC.
sir. So, shoot, let's just speak on Mahomes real quick. Talk about how when he first came out, you already had Alex Smith. He was damn good quarterback from a number one all pick. And how you felt when they moved on from him and put Mahomes in? Were you confident? Were you belief?
Yeah, the scene he played the last game of the season before he started, and we just said, "Oh, this kid is the future." And I think Alex Smith even knew that. People was kind of telling him, "Hey, man, this kid is about to be it. You might want to, think about going somewhere else and getting picked up somewhere else." That became like the thing, and he understood that too because everybody can see what this kid can do. And now to see him play it to the level he's played at for the last 10 years, man, come on. So I got to go to the Super Bowl when we won that first year. We won down in Miami.
Uh-huh.
It's a bucket list item. I don't ever have to go to the Super Bowl again. That was like everything. So yeah, it was just watching this kid play and watching how magical he is and how much of a leader he is. So yeah, I'm all in. I'll start out with all in.
But yes, sir. All right, and this is the final question I will always ask people. Okay, it's my name is Dwayne Boyd, and I am. It's a fill in the blank. So my name is Dwayne Boyd, and I am.
My name is Dwayne Boyd, and I am resilient.
In the realest way possible. Yes, sir. I love it. So, guys, there you have it. The one and only Mr. Dwayne Boyd. I appreciate you coming on and giving me the time, sir. No lie.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate what you're doing, brother. Keep striving, keep grinding, and you're gonna be all right.
Yes. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. All right.